From Wish TV and the All Indiana Podcast Network, this is the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast with Scott Sander.
Welcome to the Business, Equity, and Opportunities Podcast. I'm Scott Sander. On this episode, let's talk about the week in business on business, equity, and opportunities. The next PodIndy conference focuses on how to profit from podcasting and how to amplify the power of your pods with AI. Podcaster Brad Miller gives us a preview.
Every business is unique and has a target audience. If you own or manage a business, Circulus Digital Media can help you connect and grow your customer base with turnkey digital solutions that are nimble, offering best-in-class results, service, and support to reach a bigger customer base, allowing you to pinpoint a specific audience down to the smallest details. Get outside the city, the state, span the globe. Put Circulus Digital Media to work for you. Get started now at circulusdigital.com. That's circulusdigital.com.
Welcome, Brad Miller, founder of PodIndy, and also one of our podcasters here on the All Indiana Podcast Network, the All in Johnson County podcast. How you doing today, Brad?
Awesome to be here with you, Alan. A pleasure and a privilege.
So you've been a podcaster for how long now?
I've been podcasting since 2012. I actually started doing my son was the captain of the lacrosse team at Center Grove High School, and we did a little coaches show as a podcast in 2012. So I've been doing it for over 12 years now, having a lot of fun with it. Had about 5 or 6 different podcasts that I've done. I produced some podcasts and got involved with the conference side of things. And now we have our own conference here in Indy, PodIndy.com.
So what made you want to start podcasting?
Well, for me, I have a passion for transformational conversation. And so it goes back for me. I actually got involved with radio all the way back when I was in high school and college. And I spent 43 years as a pastor, and I often was in radio in the small towns I found myself in, and found that the message you can give through your voice and through the medium then could really speak into people's lives. And I loved that sense of the resonance of your voice speaking to people's lives. But I saw the transformational thing happen all the way back to when, people call in to, play my song on the radio, to religious messages that I would do. And now I talk about cancer, one of the podcasts that I have, and talk about the businesses in Johnson County and how they can transform people's lives. And that's what I love. That's what I resonate with. And that's why we do this conference in here, to try to help to teach people how to do just that.
So when did PodIndy become an idea, and how did it become a real living, breathing conference here in Indiana? Well,
about a year and a half or so ago, I had just retired from ministry, and I was dealing with cancer at the time, and was kind of working through that process. But I felt like kind of God had a bigger calling for me to do something in this area of podcasting, because it's where I had some interest. And I was talking to one of the people I work with, a guy named David Hooper, and he said one of the things that's helped him out a lot was doing live events. And I said, okay, I've done live events. I have hosted big Christian rock concerts and big ministry events of several thousand people. I can do this. And so I just decided, basically spring of 23, that I wanted to do this. I hosted our first PodIndy 23 in Whiteland, Indiana. We had a good group of people come out. You were a part of that. We had a lot of fun, and we did some good. And some people said that, Brad, this is a good thing. Let's do it again. So here we are in November 9th of 2024. We're going to do PodIndy.com 24, and we've got a bigger group of people coming, some great guests coming to help us to do this transformational message to resonate people's lives. Through what they hear and what they see can help to bring a message that can be transformative.
Sure. So we're talking about transformation. So when podcasters come to this, or if anybody who's interested in podcasting, what kind of transformation are we looking to impart on people?
Well, here's the thing. Almost everybody, Alan, has heard a podcast, or they've listened to a podcast, or they watch something on YouTube, or they know that some of their stars are involved with podcasts. And they get involved with that way. And some people at least have had the thought, okay, maybe I want to start a podcast about something I'm interested in. It might be, a horror movie buff or something like that. Or maybe it's about their business, taking their real estate business or something, how I can leverage that in order to expand my business. They've at least thought about it, but almost everybody has something to thought of, okay, how am I going to do that? And how am I going to make it worth my while? How am I going to make it pay off in terms of the investment of my time and my money? And how can I maybe even make some money out of this to make it worthwhile? A lot of podcasts podcasters stop after 6 or 7 episodes. What we're going to do at PodIndy.com is teach people how to not only to plan, launch, grow, monetize, and sustain their podcast in order to make an impact. So that's the transformation. This is a how-to conference that you've already got the idea of something you want to do. We're going to teach you how to do it, how to sustain it, and how to make it meaningful in your life and the lives of the people you want to reach.
So if you want to come to the PodIndy, do you already need to have a podcast?
You do not need to have a podcast. We are going to help to give you the foundation of how to plan, launch, and grow a podcast. If you are a business person who wants to enhance your present business, we're going to teach you how there's some leverage points of how you can grow your business using podcasting. There's many different elements of this, but we can help you get started. We have Dave Jackson who's coming, who has the School of Podcasting, and his book is called Profit from Your Podcast. He's our keynote speaker, and his whole thing is how you can learn how to profit from a podcast that you plan, launch, and grow and sustain and monetize. And then we've also got Craig Van Slyke, a leader in the AI field, who has the podcast AI Goes to College. He's a professor at Louisiana Tech University. He's going to teach people how to leverage AI, artificial intelligence, in order to expand whatever it is you're doing, your business, your message, or your mission, and we help people to do that. So you don't have to start with a podcast, but if you do, we're going to help you build on that as well.
Sure, and of course, the theme is profit from your podcast. But when you think of profiting, the first thing that usually comes to mind is making money. But are we talking about just making money, or are there other ways that you can make a profit?
You know, one of the greatest things about podcasting is relationship building. One of the great ways that you can make a profit, both interpersonally and even financially, is by building relationships. You and I are in a conversation now because we built a relationship through podcasting. But here's the deal. For a business person, if they want to, or even if a person wants to build a business around podcasting, here's something that almost every business person knows. You have to understand and deal with the know, like, and trust factor. Almost every business person knows in order to get to the sale or to get to that connection, people need to get to know you a little bit, need to get to like you, and need to learn to trust you. A podcast and getting your voice out, your image out, and your message out helps to contract that process. So whether your profiting is to develop more and better relationships. For instance, on my cancer podcast, I speak to people who deal with cancer and want to learn to cope with it. We call it Cope with Hope. And so the payoff I have therein is the relationships I've built and the people who have come and said, you have helped me to cope with cancer in my life. On my business podcast I have, there are some people come and said, hey, what you're doing here is helping to get the word out about our business. There's all these things can happen, but it's all about building relationships, and the voice, the resonance of the voice, the human voice goes into people's heart and soul and mind and resonates and rolls around in there much more in an expanded version than the printed page. We need both, but it can expand on that. So it's about the know, like, and trust factor. I like to call it how I can contract the timeline of the know, like, and trust.
So when you come to the PodIndy conference, what can you expect as somebody who's wanting to learn how to take advantage of all that podcasting has to offer?
Here's one thing we're not going to do. We're not going to waste your time. You're going to have one day, one key focus, how to profit from your podcast enhanced or amplified by AI. So it's a 9 to 5 p.m. Saturday, November 9th, 2024, 801 Shelby Street. This is the Fountain Square neighborhood of Indianapolis, cool neighborhood. And we're going to come in, we're going to get it right away. We're going to have 3 different elements going on. We're going to have this element about how to profit from your podcast, whether you have a business you want to enhance or whether you want to take your podcast and build a business around it. We're going to talk about Amplify by AI. We're going to do the networking piece, which is how we can connect with other like-minded people, businesses and otherwise. So we'll have several sessions. We'll have some integrative times together. We're going to have a lunch and learn time where some people are coming in to talk about the power of video podcasting. We got people coming in from Tampa, Florida, and Dallas, Texas to talk about video podcasting. And we're going to have an opportunity to have a roundtable discussion, a panel discussion, which you're going to be a part of local podcasting professionals and business professionals who then can provide the services that people may need here locally, here in central Indiana, to help them to either start their podcast or to take their business and enhance it with podcasting. A focus on profiting from your podcast amplified by AI.
So let's talk about that AI factor here for a second. That's
Sure.
all the talk right now.
Absolutely, yeah.
I mean, a lot of people are worried about AI just taking over for people. Clearly, as podcasters, we have our own voice.
Yes.
So how does AI factor into podcasting as far as you're concerned?
Yeah, AI factors into it, how to take that message that you come out with and how to multitask it or multi-purpose it in such a ways that you can expand the reach of your podcast. Let's just take an example. We can take our conversation here today, an audio conversation, a video conversation, and we can use AI tools then to help make this podcast that we're doing right here, right now, into blog post, a newsletter article. We can put it into YouTube shorts, into LinkedIn post, social media all over the place, and other ways. And then those things can be sent out to our potential clients and things of that nature. That's just one tool that is out there. There are magnificent tools. I've been talking to Craig Van Slyke just yesterday. I talked to him. There are some amazing things that can help you. And the idea here is also in this event, Craig is going to help us to diffuse some of the fear about it and see how we take control over that. Don't think that AI is going to control you. It's not some robot that's going to take over your life. This is about you using another tool that can amplify and enhance what you're already doing.
So do you use AI?
I do. I use it very much like I just said. I take an audio podcast and I drop it into an AI tool, which helps me then to multi-purpose that content and contract the time that takes me to do it. Where it used to take me to do an audio podcast and write a blog post might take me 2 or 3 hours, whatever it would be. I can basically do it in 30 minutes or so and just contract that time. It helps me get more done and get more out, get more content out. A lot of it's about a cascade of content that you can get out in whatever your business is or whatever your message is. It just helps. In my case, that's how I use it to get the word out.
So for you, what's the key reason that you find podcasting so attractive? What draws you to podcasting?
I would say it goes right back to that transformational thing. Alan, I'm all about life change. I come from a pastoral background. I've spent 43 years as a pastor, and nothing drives me more than seeing people's lives change from a life that is without to a life that is with. And so I love that, to see how people have that happen. And that can happen in many ways. In church context, which I come from, is one thing. But I also see it in communication. I see it in communication, television communication, radio, print medium. Reading a book is transformative. People say, I read that book, it changed my life. Well, podcasting is just another way of doing that. But what I love about it, though, is the vibration that happens with literally the voice which is heard, that communication which takes place. To me, it is so, you have to have two elements of this. You have to have the kind of the big why, which is why I do it, why I do my cancer podcast, is help people to cope with hope. But what is more important is for me to listen to my listeners to see how it's changed their lives and adjust my message to them. So I kind of use the metaphor of kind of bunny ears and a megaphone. The bunny ears is kind of be a good listener, have your ears open to what your listener is saying, and then to use the megaphone to amplify your voice. It boils down to this one word: transformation for me.
So on your journey of podcasting, where you've obviously transformed your own life,
yes,
through podcasting, was there a moment for you when you had that aha that, this is more than just connecting with people. This can be something bigger. This can be where, an opportunity for me to profit or to profit other people through what I'm doing here?
I've always enjoyed it. I've always enjoyed the medium of the vocal, of giving talks, giving sermons, seeing the reaction that way, and seeing life change. So I've always enjoyed that medium and how you can see the changes take place. But I'll tell you, the most transformative moment for me happened not too long ago, when I got someone who came through my cancer-related podcast website, and she said to me, Dr. Brad, I just want to thank you for your podcast, because I have now downloaded every episode, that 45 or so episodes at that point, and she was able to outline some specific episodes I had. She even pointed out some of the mistakes I made, how I've repeated myself a few times, and so she helped me to learn myself. But she heard me, and I was able then to have her as a guest on my podcast, and that became a real turn of a moment when a full circle moment is what I'm looking for here, where I sent my message out, she heard it, she consumed it, it changed her life, and now she is now an advocate in her own community for the name of my cancer-related podcast was Cancer and Comedy. She now started a cancer-related comedy club in her own local community.
Really?
And teaches comedic processes to people in her own community. Has an open mic night and things like this. It all happened because she listened to my podcast, which I had put out in multiple ways because of AI. She heard it, she listened to it, she consumed it, and then she cared enough to reach out to me. She then became a person on my podcast, and that message continues, and we have now an ongoing relationship. That's a cool thing as far as I'm concerned. I love that.
I think that's probably one of the coolest things about podcasting. You know, we do it because we're putting something out there for others, but very often what we get back is even more powerful than what we think we're giving.
Indeed.
So is there anything else that you'd like to share with us about PodIndy?
Well, PodIndy, let's just be clear about when it is, what it's all about. Saturday, November 9th, 2024. 801 Shelby Street, that is in the Fountain Square area of Indianapolis. There is a 9 a.m. to 5 p.m. We are talking about how to profit from your podcast. Dave Jackson, who wrote the book, Profit from Your Podcast, who is a Hall of Fame podcaster, is our keynote speaker. He is supplemented. Our other main speaker is Dr. Craig Van Slyke, who's flying in from Louisiana Tech University to be with us. He is the premier person on AI in the college level. He flies all around the country giving lectures about AI and the college level. And his podcast, because AI goes to college, he's going to help you leverage AI. Then we got people coming in at the noontime hour to be a part of our discussion about video podcasting. Everybody's talking about that. So you come in, you have a great time, interact with people who are here with us as well. The price is very inexpensive. You know, it's $52 is our ticket. You have a student ticket for $27. We also have, we have a student ticket price as well. Then we have a virtual ticket for $27. Anybody can check us out live on YouTube. Everybody who gets a ticket gets the downloadable recordings of the event, and you can come the day of it, and you can be a part of it and have a great time. And if you use the coupon code WISHTV, I knock off 15% right there. We love to have people come and to be a part of this growing phenomenon. Hey, don't you believe, Alan, that podcasting is a phenomenon that's making an impact? We see it in the presidential elections. We see it all around us in the entertainment world, the news world. Podcasting is a growing phenomenon. Why don't you be a part of something that's growing and effective, and be effective for your business or for your life, and to be transformative, not only to others that you want to reach, but to yourself? I love that. I want you people to be a part of it. Just go to PodIndy.com, PodIndy.com, and use that coupon code WISHTV for 15% off.
Well, and speaking of being a part of it, the All Indiana Podcast Network, very proud to be a supporter of what you're doing as well. So.
Indeed. We have Wish TV and some other local entities who are supportive of us. You're going to, if you come to the live event, you are going to cross paths with some interesting folks in the media world and the conference world, not only here in Indianapolis, but around the country, around the world. We have people coming from PodFest, which is an international podcasting conference. I speak at that conference every January. It's several thousand people, and they are coming to be a part of our event to share what they are doing about that PodFest. So you want to interact with people here locally and nationally who are involved with the podcasting world that you will not get a chance to do otherwise. This is the only event like this in the Indianapolis area. There's not many in the whole country of this regional nature. And we want people to come be a part of it at PodIndy.com.
Our thanks again to all the contributors who joined us for this episode of the Business Equity and Opportunities Podcast. We hope you found it enlightening, useful, and inspiring. You'll find more information about the show on our website, BEOshow.com. You can watch Business Equity and Opportunities Sunday mornings at 10 on Wish TV or live stream it through wishtv.com. Each week we provide 7 full segments with topics ranging from how to get started and how to access capital to the day-to-day running of your business and questions about accounting and bookkeeping. We feature business news and trends and always share a success story from one of our contributors. Join us next time for more insights into the world of small business. Be sure to sign up for our Business Equity and Opportunities newsletter to get even more valuable, up-to-date information. And if you have any questions or you'd like to be part of our show, please email us. The address is beo@wishtv.com. We'd love to hear from you. I'm Scott Sander. Thanks for listening.
Watch the Business Equity and Opportunity Show on Wish TV and access all of our content and share it on demand anytime at BEOshow.com. You can find more podcasts from Wish TV on the All Indiana Podcast Network at allindianapodcastnetwork.com.